So I'm so excited to be here with you, Bilqees, and to discover your product. And before we get started, tell me about your business.
So Helius Originals is an eco-luxury smoke flower company. We sell products that infuse cocktails, mocktails, and food items with smoke sustainably, sourced from Ontario and in America.
How did you come up with this?
We were trying to figure out what to eat, me and my co-founder, and you like steakhouses, and there wasn't any options because the city was completely shut down. And I wanted this smoke cocktail, and I saw that there wasn't really any solutions for it. So I did a little bit of research, and I realized it was a growing market, growing niche, but there's people like me that were looking for a solution. But I wanted to make sure that I made it sustainable because I'm an Indigenous and Black, and I wanted to tackle environmental racism through our products.
Like, that sounds perfect. Can you dig a little deeper? Because not a lot of people know about this luxury item. Not a lot of people understand the need of it. So I just want to understand how your background and your culture is infused, no pun intended, into the product.
Well, we have a growing smoke culture in North America, but we never think about what our products are smoked with. We all kind of like smoked salmon, but we have no idea what it's smoked with, how they smoke it, if it has pesticides or anything like that. So we wanted to make sure we brought that experience home. We based our business around psychology, because I'm a clinical psychology major. So I wanted to ensure that it gave people just the social currency that they were looking for. People like to share things that they had. So we wanted to make sure people could be like, hey, look, this cool product I had. And word of mouth could kind of just happen organically.
I love this idea that you were stuck at home and saw a problem and came up with the solution. I would love to hear a little bit more about your type of clients, like who loves this product.
Yeah, so I'm not actually a supply and demand person. I'm a demand and supply person. So I saw my clients that wanted this product. We have majority male clients or women buying for their husbands, but they can also be buying for themselves, but are buying for their husbands. So our clients right now we're B2C for a very long time, but we just entered the B2B market. So in Spain, we're working the tobacco shop. They're all around Spain, about 13,000 stores. They're working with, and we have some other cool partnerships in France with a larger distributor for our products. So we're starting to go into Europe, and we're being the first to market there.
So you have this idea, and then now you have this business where you're in Europe, you're in North America. So how do you get it from the idea to the actual rolling dominant business model, which is Helios?
A lot of sleepless nights, and I played basketball. So I'm kind of trained to treat entrepreneurship kind of like an off season. So I do a lot of off-season work for the big games. So it'd be trade shows or closing contracts. So I kind of put my head down and just keep plugging away. And things that look like, may not be making money or people might take for granted, I realize that those are the building blocks of building my business. So there might be days or weeks of sitting on the computer, but in the end, it leads to me closing a contract that changes the shape of our business.
I can think that something like this would require some capital in order to kind of refine the sexy packaging, in order to get that beautiful shiny mechanism inside. So how did you go with once again having this idea? Did you hit up all your savings?
So we started on our own capital, but we launched on Amazon. We launched in the holiday season and sold out in 6 days.
No way.
Yes. So we weren't prepared for that. So we quickly had to get capital, and that's where we actually got in touch with Futurpreneur. At the time, I would say that nobody probably would have given me a loan. I had some other situations that I did in business before, not this one. At a younger age, that just were not good life choices. So Futurpreneur gives a loan to get our stock up and going, and that's how we continued to grow the business.
Honestly, I have a similar experience because for me, when I was going out to get a loan, first of all, understanding that I needed a loan was one thing. I didn't have a sold out product. That was service-based business. However, actually getting the money and realizing that I deserve this money, that my business is worthy of this money, and that I should spend this money in order to scale my business. Yes. What were goals kind of connecting the dots for you?
For me, it was almost realizing that other people's capital wasn't like a failure. It was like I felt I should have my own money to do this and to scale this. And then I realized that most successful businesses use other people's capital to grow so you don't hurt your cash flow. So it taught me lessons in terms of how to leverage other people and other services to grow while not hurting operations.
Tell me about like the community support. You know, like you said that you come from an indigenous and Black background, and I know for us, it's all about your tribe. So how has that really pushed you and propelled you to have the success that you have today?
Having people to lean on is actually how I grew my business. It wasn't like growing it just to my customers. It was people pushing me out of my comfort zone, mentors that I had, that I acquired along the way that just had my back. And when I felt unsure of myself, I would go to them and they'd be like, Bilqees, you got it. Just like, you're doing the right things, just keep pushing away. So one, it was support like mentally, but also just putting me in the right places. Your business is honestly who you know, and kicking those doors in is not the easiest when you're on your own, but when you have board introductions, it helps a lot. I know my business and that's where I thrive. It's getting past the hurdle of trying to sell a little of my business, but once I know I had the paying attention, it's a lot easier for me. And in Spain, I would say that it's easier because they kind of build as a community. They don't just like go in and close deals through Zoom and stuff like that, which I have no problem with. Because I do like the fast-paced stuff with North America, but it feels very community, it feels family oriented there. So every deal you do, it's almost like you're breaking bread together, and it feels like you're kind of conquering the countries one by one.
I think it's so dope how a product like smoking, either a beverage or food, could have such great social impact.
Yes.
And what would you want that social impact to kind of mean for the legacy, not only for you, but like your ancestors?
My biggest thing is diverting waste materials. We use way too much stuff around the world, but there's one thing that a lot of people don't know is that Canada is actually the #1 waste producer worldwide per Canada. We don't have the most people, but per person, we're doing a person in the world. So I think that we're doing a lot better. And I know that lumber is something that we have an abundance of. So there's no need for me to cut down trees or to do anything like that. So my products, I want to make sure that it was, hey, you know, Helius Originals, they did sell fun stuff. They did make beautiful, luxurious products, but in the back end, they did get rid of some CO2. They did divert waste materials. They did upcycle things. They did actually do something that could have found it.
That's your legacy. Is really like what's your imprint, just your footprint. Let's say I could only imagine how competitive the alcohol business, wine and spirits business is, and then you as a Black owner penetrating that space. Like, do you ever feel like doubt, imposter syndrome?
Before I had my breakthrough in the BE space, I was actually gonna quit. I was like, you know, done. I felt like I was a hole I could get out of. We were just B2C, and I was like, you know what, like I've been trying to do this because I had cheesecake business initially, and I was like, you know, you've been trying to do that for a while. Maybe it's just time to just, you know, stop. Maybe. And I said to my mom, I was like, you know what, I think I'm done. Like, I just don't think I'm gonna do it anymore. And it was the shortest pep talk ever, because she said, oh really? I was like, yeah. She's like, where are you gonna work? And I was like, oh. Yeah, then she was like, so you're gonna work till you're 65 like me, because my mom's a paralegal. And I was like, no. And she's like, all right, so go back to doing what you were doing. And I was like, well, that was 35 seconds. I'm gonna go back into my office, figure it out. So I was like, kind of the turning point for me to stop. And my co-founder, he's really good whenever I kind of feel doubt. He reminds me doing the right thing.
And that you're worth it.
Yeah. And I don't come from a financial background, but I have a lot of financial backing and stuff like that. So I bootstrapping and I'm building a legacy for my family the best way that I can. So I have to be a little bit more gentle, kind of myself sometimes.
Tell me about the sustainability of like the products that are being used.
So when we first started, everything was based in Ontario, but we're still very Ontario-based. We work with suppliers in Simcoe and in the mill. They take materials, again, that would head to landfills, but they upcycle it. So we have some boards that we use also. And when we cut the boards, we ensure that whatever is left over we use. So we turn that in and ground it up in our products for our wood shadings. So there's no waste that comes from our products. We use 100% of the wood all the way through. And then for the smoking saucers, we use FSC certified just because we're scaling. And it's a little bit harder to work with reclaimed wood, but the FSC certification is still a very sustainable way to build on making your products.
It's such a sexy product.
Yes, it's a smoking saucer, and it's going to be upgraded the new year. So
Oh, I love a good upgrade. So this is a saucer. Yes. This is all wood.
yes,
Beautiful. It goes right over your drink. And then we put the wood chips inside. And then we take this sexy thing
yes,
and
solid torch.
solid metal torch. It like just fits perfectly in your hand. Honestly, I'm so excited to drink after this is done. And thank you so much. Like, let's head up and see some more about your journey. Thanks so much.
So can you tell us a little bit about the future of your business? Like, what do you aspire for Helios?
So I'm looking for us to be the leader in the smoke barware industry. We're hoping that we can also continue to innovate and just reduce waste as we go.
What would be one wish that you have for entrepreneurs?
For entrepreneurs, I'd wish that they just follow their dreams. I know that sounds very cliche, but I feel like we have a lot of self-limiting beliefs and think that we can't do things. But when you just take that leap, you can do more than you can imagine.
What would be one thing that you wish for yourself?
That I continue to grow, not in business, but also as a person.
Honestly, I'm so thankful that we got to do this today.
Me too.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have to say, when I was talking to Bilqees and seeing how she was able to take a humble idea and scale it at like enormous heights, it really showed me that you're your worst enemy in terms of putting limiting beliefs of what you can accomplish. And to see that she has this like limitless idea of what she can accomplish, no fear in like tackling foreign markets like Europe and the States and thinking about development. And it's something that I really think not only myself, but a lot of entrepreneurs are going to take away from her story. And it's really inspiring. Yeah, she's just super inspiring, super dope. And I'm gonna start integrating that in my day-to-day more often. Yeah, we know. Get out.
Oh, we're like just walking down?
We're going to walk. We're gonna stop over there.
Okay.